Hi everyone, Jenny Minnick here. Thanks for joining. In this video, I'm going to share the digital solve for the Lion's Share box. If you haven't already seen the location solve, I recommend you do that. You can check out the link in the comments below. Also, I'm going to be releasing the digital solves for all of the other boxes, so if you want to follow my channel so that you don't miss those, that would be great. If you've seen my location solve for the Lion's Share box, then you know I think the solve is in Disneyland, California. John's poem, Joy's Serenade, is the treasure walking path through Disneyland. If you follow the path through Disneyland Park, as you'll see in my other video, this is what the path would look like. Now, having been to Disneyland last November and again in April, I can tell you that I have no physical box in hand. And just like John said, it was a strange feeling to arrive at a destination I dreamed of, only to find that there was no real satisfaction to my pot of gold. He also said that he wouldn't be surprised if failure winds up being a part of the process that eventually leads us to our treasure. So why was there not a box there that I could find? It's because there are 2 X marks the spots for each treasure box. The very first clue to this hunt is found on the cover of the book. As you can see, John told us there are 2 X marks the spots. One is empty and one is not. So what are these 2 X's? One is the place where the box is hidden, and the other is the place where the box physically is. To think about how this might work, let's use the lottery. Let's say you plan to win the Powerball jackpot. So you come up with the solve for the winning numbers, and you buy a ticket. Then you wait to see if your numbers were correct. And let's say you guessed correctly, and you won. The ticket in your hand is not the treasure. You will need to go to a secure location to get the actual prize money. The ticket is like the digital X marks the spot, and then the actual prize winnings is the other. There are multiple benefits for having 2 X marks the spots. One of them is safety. Clearly, John put a lot of thought into keeping us safe. Ask yourself, do you think it would be safe for someone to find a box worth hundreds of thousands of dollars and then just carry it around somewhere? Don't you think the odds are high for them to be mugged or worse? Personally, I think I'd rather John hand me the box in a secure private place. Another benefit of having 2 X marks the spot is convenience. John can control when someone finds the treasure box. And if you notice in his interviews, he is very confident that he will know when someone finds a box. And this is how. Every story John shares in the book has a purpose. It's there to be a clue or to prepare us for something that we'll encounter during the hunt. He even has a story about waiting to see if you make it onto the list of winners. John shared a personal story when he tried out for the basketball team. He tried his hardest to meet all of the coach's requirements, but the hardest part was the waiting to see if he made the list. And with the way these boxes are hidden, we are also left to wait to hear the final list. And this is why I think I don't have a physical box in hand yet. So if we don't have a physical box in hand, how would we let anyone know that we found a box? The answer is you leave a breadcrumb trail. And this is the digital component of each of the solves I'm going to share with you. There are 4 ways to leave a breadcrumb trail through Disneyland. The first is to wear a magic band. Magic bands have RFID chips in them, so Disneyland can track where you are in the park. And these magic bands, they're tied to your Disney account. The second way is to wear bright clothes so that security can spot us. John talks about this a couple of different ways in the book. One way he talks about Washington and how he would ride out in full color regalia. Also, he mentions it in the safety part of the book, where he says to wear bright colors so that we can be clearly identifiable to hunters. I don't think he meant just the type of hunter that's out in nature. I think he also meant the ones that are sitting by watching security cameras. Another way to leave a trail is to blaze our own path. And John talks about this a couple of different places in the book. He tells us to follow the road less traveled and to make our own path. And this is because when we do this, it draws attention. We stick out in a crowd when we're going against the general flow of traffic. And the fourth way to leave a breadcrumb trail is to carry a very important key. And this key is called the Key to Disneyland. The Key to Disneyland is an interactive experience where you purchase a key and then you use it at different lock stations throughout the park to unlock different experiences. This is part of the 70-year anniversary celebration for Disneyland. As part of this experience, there are a total of 10 different lock stations. The 9 on top are located throughout the park, and then the 10th one is the home one that you go to at the very end. As you insert your key into this lock station, there's a little light that will show on your key to show that you've been there. Once you have all of the 9 lights in place, then you can travel home to the final destination, and when you insert your key into the lock station, a secret compartment will open and out pops a commemorative pin. The trick to all of this is to interact with the lock stations according to the treasure walking path. And this order is entirely contrary to what the general population will follow, because normally people will purchase the key as they come through the entrance and then immediately start interacting with the lock stations. But as you can see on the map, the first lock station that we need to interact with is the one farthest away from the entrance. Then, after we interact with the first one, we need to travel clockwise through the park, and this general flow is totally against the flow of traffic that you will find in Disneyland. It's important to note that there is a deadline on this Key to Disneyland experience, and it's only going to be available through August 9th. Perhaps this is why John could so confidently say he expects that all the boxes to be found this year. Also, the book suggests there is a possibility of having multiple winners for each box. In John's basketball story I previously mentioned, he talks about 12 people making the cut. Also, Chapter 15 tells us to not give up, and that how someone may lose one race, place in another, and yet win in a third. And we all know that there is an Olympic theme in the book, and this also hints that each box may have multiple winners. John also says in the book that these treasures we all seek are not zero-sum game. A zero-sum game is like when 2 people split one treasure chest. If one person takes more gold than the other person gets less because there's only a fixed amount to share. The opposite of a zero-sum game is a win-win situation where all the winners get the same prize amount. If you'll notice, John does mention that there are 12 gold rings available in this treasure. Perhaps this is for the 12 winners. I don't claim to know how many winners there are for each box. I'm guessing maybe 12 for the lion's share one. But I am guessing that if there were multiple ones for the lion's share box, that Disney would be there to help fund the winnings. After all, this would be a magnificent publicity stunt for them. And we also know that John had 5 experts to help him with the 5 boxes. No one said it had to be a specific person. It could have been a corporation. Okay, so I've shared the location of the lion's share box, and I've shared the walking path, and I've told you how to go about it digitally. Now go out there and pick up your lion's share box.